water consumption in our homes is something that we should be taking into consideration every single day, because every South African in some way contributes to South Africa's overall water consumption. Now, the Water Institute of Southern Africa, known as WISA, launched their biennial conference in Cape Town yesterday, and it's going to be running all week, and the theme this year is water footprints. So what better reason is there to look at how we use water at home, in this instance specifically when it comes to washing our clothes. And here to shed more light on the matter is Ross Plumley, who is the Supply Director of Unilever South Africa, and Sean Dole, who is the Director of WSP Environmental Consultants. Good morning, gentlemen. Welcome to Expresso.
Good morning.
Wonderful. So before we get into the whole water consumption thing, Sean, can you tell us what is the whole WISA conference about this week?
Yes, as you said, it's a biennial, so it's every 2 years, and focusing on water footprinting this year, it brings experts within the country, both from government, from industry, from academic institutions together to talk about issues of water in South Africa.
Yes.
We are a dry country. Water is already an issue for us in terms of provision of enough fresh water into the country, and obviously with a growing population, this is a big concern.
Yeah, and what can us as South Africans be doing to start taking cognizance of how we are using water?
Well, I think first of all, obviously, we look to government and to big industry take a leadership role, but it's very important to recognise as individuals we have a significant role to play. Direct water consumption. We put our tap on, we shower, we water the garden. That's easy to think about how we can save that water.
Yeah.
But I think the message I want to put across is that every product we buy off the shelf has water associated, or what we call embedded in that product.
Yeah.
And if you look at produce, you buy produce off the shelf, that's quite easy also to think about. Any plant takes water to grow. So that orange or that apple, there's embodied water in that orange or apple. Now, any other product on the shelf, in the packaging, in the manufacture, there's water embedded in that product.
Yeah. Okay, wonderful. Over to you, Ross. Let's bring it home just for a second, just to put us all into perspective here. How much water do us as South Africans use on a daily basis?
Yeah, so that's quite interesting, because interestingly enough, consumers wash about 40 million times in a week in South Africa, which is quite significant. Yeah. And we consume about the equivalent of about 250,000 swimming pools every year in washing our clothes. So a significant amount of water is consumed. So consumers not only use that water to wash their clothes, but also in terms of how we manufacture a product, we also consume water as well, as Sean was mentioning.
Yes, that is an incredible amount of water that we use. Now, when it comes to using a product to wash our clothes, let's take Omo detergent, for instance. How much better is it to use a liquid than it is to use a powder?
Yeah, so for example, if we use a concentrated liquid like Omo liquid, then I think there's significant benefits from that. First of all, one's able to get the benefits of the liquid itself in terms of washing, so you get great performance. But you also have the opportunity of buying a product which is greener, so it's a greener choice. Comes in a smaller pack, there's less waste, we use less water to manufacture it. So consumers really have the opportunity of choosing that product and knowing they've got a greener choice, and hopefully having a direct impact on reducing their footprint in terms of their water consumption as well.
Okay, wonderful. Do you have any advice on what South Africans can do to help reduce our carbon emissions?
Yeah, so definitely. So a couple of things with regard to washing, things consumers can do. They can choose to wash at a lower temperature. So if we wash at 30 degrees Celsius, they can choose to have a quick wash instead of a long wash. If your clothes aren't that soiled, you can do that you can choose that quick wash, do that. And you could also use a concentrated liquid, which allows you to get the same performance if you're actually able to choose those things. So, you know, if you chose a liquid detergent and we all, I think if 40% of our consumers chose liquid detergent and washed it cold water, it'd be the equivalent to about 22,000 cars on the road in terms of our greenhouse gas reduction. So that's a significant impact.
Absolutely. Hey, each one of us can actually be making a difference.
That's
for anybody that's just joined us right now, what's the lasting message that you want to leave for them, Sean?
Think about what you're purchasing off the shelf, because every choice has an impact. If you make a greener choice, you're making a positive contribution both in saving carbon, energy and water. So when we're talking about detergents, look for the concentrated, smaller packs. Awesome. They pack the punch and they save energy and water.
That's true. And you, Russ?
Yeah, I'd say the same. And also consumers think about, do you really need to wash at high temperatures? Do you need to have that long wash? Could you use a quick wash? So doing those simple things, we can actually reduce the amount of water and reduce the amount of greenhouse gas that we consume.
Wonderful. I think that you guys have definitely opened up our minds to start thinking about how much water we are consuming, and of course making, you know, like decreasing our carbon footprint as well. I think it's time to go over to Liesl and Lisa and see what they have for us.
Stay with Expresso and SABC3.